This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
The state of Indiana is not giving out specific nursing home death information, but soon you may be able to see the information anyway. I'm Kara Kenny with what the feds are doing about it.
And good evening to you here at 6 o'clock. I'm Mark Mullins broadcasting from my home tonight.
And I'm Amanda Starantino at the WRTV studios. Another mixed day of weather. We've had sun, clouds, wind, and heavy rain. Storm Team 6 meteorologist Kyle Mount shows us what's happening now and how your weekend is looking too. Kyle.
Yeah, Amanda, we've had some good breaks in the rain activity today, and I think that's a trend for the weekend ahead. You can see on Storm Team 6 radar, we've had a couple of these showers developing mainly over northern Indiana, moving back in around the Marion area for us, but that's going to be very brief. You had one of those showers in Kokomo, drying out now, but it's 70 degrees, 74 downtown in Bloomington, coming in at 75. As we go through the next several hours, just that spotty shower chance with temperatures that will continue to fall back through the 60s for us. Coming up, we're going to talk about those mild temperatures sticking around for the weekend, but yes, we do have some rain chances. We'll break that down hour by hour and also talk about a brief cool down coming our way.
There are fewer new cases of the coronavirus reported today in Indiana, but there are more deaths. The Indiana State Department of Health confirmed 614 new cases of COVID-19. There were 634 new cases yesterday. 26,655 Hoosiers have been diagnosed with the virus since the pandemic began. The state also reports 42 new deaths from the coronavirus. That's up from 26 new deaths yesterday. So far, 1,550 people in Indiana have died from COVID-19. 165,448 people have been tested for the virus, and about 16% of them tested positive.
Indiana families continue to fight for more transparency from the state and nursing homes when it comes to COVID-19 cases and deaths. Deaths at long-term care facilities make up 41% of the state's total, but people in nursing homes compose only 12% of positive cases altogether. The state is telling the public only the overall number of people who have tested positive and who have died in nursing homes. What the state is still not saying is where these nursing home outbreaks and deaths are happening. Call 6 Investigates' Kara Kenny is talking to experts and uncovered the public may soon get to see this information in a different way.
We asked the state to give us nursing home deaths and cases broken down by facility. The state declined, citing privacy reasons. But we talked with an expert who says legally the state can give us the information.
It's really sad.
David Johnson lives in Indianapolis and is one of many taxpayers concerned about the state not telling the public where nursing home deaths are happening. He's had 2 family members at Glenburn Home in Linton, Indiana. His sister-in-law died in April from pneumonia. David says he's encouraged by the fact that Glenburn Home has posted daily updates on COVID-19 cases and deaths on their website and Facebook page, something they do not have to do by law. The state's new requirements say nursing homes only have to send daily email updates to resident families about COVID-19 cases. Death information is only released to families upon request.
Totally transparent. Everybody in the community knows about it. I think that's just kind of the standard that, frankly, the state should be doing, but
Glenburn Home told us they have an obligation to keep the public informed because their friends and neighbors are also impacted by the virus. A failure to communicate during these times leaves families uninformed, which creates an additional burden in addition to that they are already experiencing. It also creates anxiety and speculation in the community, resulting in stories and rumors at a time when our residents, families, and employees deserve better. Seema Mohapatra agrees. She's a healthcare expert and professor at IU McKinney School of Law.
The people that are working there are coming in and out of those facilities. And so there is also a potential risk for the general public about what the kinds of infection rates are in long-term care facilities. That's all in the public interest and public trust. Right now, it's really important that we have trust in our institutions, and so they have to show us some kind of trustworthiness by reporting these kinds of cases.
The state has cited privacy concerns for not telling the public where people are dying in nursing homes.
And legally, there's nothing preventing the facilities or the health department from giving this information.
Nursing homes are funded with your tax dollars through Medicaid and Medicare. A new federal rule makes it mandatory for nursing homes to report COVID-19 deaths and infections to the CDC. The data is expected to be released at the end of May.
People in Indiana, even if the state health department doesn't release it, by the end of May, we should have so much more understanding.
When the public is not informed, they may assume the worst, and families say that needs to change statewide.
I can handle seeing all these numbers down at Glenburn. You know, it's really sad, but I'd rather see that than nothing and have families left in the dark.
In the meantime, we're compiling our own database of nursing home deaths and cases, and we want to hear from you. You can email me at kara.kenny@wrtv.com. And if your nursing home is not giving you the information, you can report it here to the state of Indiana. Reporting in Indianapolis, Kara Kenny, RTV6.
Kara, thank you. Call 6 Investigates has also filed a complaint with the state's public access counselor, and we are still waiting on his opinion. Now, the nursing home industry says once the numbers are released, you need to take them with a grain of salt. We spoke with the Indiana Healthcare Association and Indiana Center for Assisted Living.
If we were able to test everybody at the same time, or relatively at the same time, and do so consistently over time, that data would be more reliable and more important, more valuable, both to the public and to public health officials. But that's not where we're at right now.
IHCA and InCal represent more than 450 skilled nursing and assisted living properties. President Zach Cottrell says the public needs to keep in mind that the elderly are more susceptible to the virus, especially if they live with a group of other people. He says just because a nursing home or assisted living facility has a high number of cases or deaths does not mean they've done anything wrong.
With respect to the perception that nursing facilities have done something wrong because the virus attacks elderly and vulnerable populations more than others, I think is a wrong perception to have.
The trade association is working on gathering its own data, including recoveries. They say the information will help them establish best practices to attack COVID-19.
They may have a rash or may have swelling of their body.
A serious inflammatory condition found in kids around the world, health experts say it could stem from COVID-19. Working for you, RTV6's Megan Sanctorum spoke to a doctor from Riley Hospital for Children, as well as a daycare, what you need to know to keep your child safe.
Healthcare experts say it's rare, but a potentially dangerous condition is affecting some children, one that can cause inflammation of the heart or other organs.
With the specific features, fever, and rashes, red eyes, swelling.
John Christensen is the medical director of infection prevention at Riley Hospital for Children. He says so far they have not seen any cases of this here locally, but it's something they are keeping an eye out for. Local daycare centers are doing the same.
We're doing all of the things that have been recommended and trying to go above and beyond.
Here at Early Learning Indiana, they've implemented social distancing practices, additional cleaning routines, and they're conducting health screenings at the door. Leaders say they know conditions can quickly change, though.
That will be the key piece, is making sure that we're monitoring children throughout the day and making sure that we stay aware of anything that changes and then letting families know.
According to the CDC, this inflammatory syndrome has been reported in the UK and New York City. Many children experiencing it have also tested positive for COVID-19. Doctors say they're prepared to treat potential cases because this syndrome resembles something called Kawasaki disease, which is often triggered by infections.
Which is an illness that in most children's hospitals in the United States and around the world, we have a lot of experience with Kawasaki because we see a lot of Kawasaki children.
He says most children testing positive for COVID-19 here locally show mild respiratory symptoms and make a full recovery.
The important thing is to remind people that that infections with COVID in children are generally mild.
Working for you, Megan Sanctorum, RTV6.
And the CDC is asking physicians to report any suspected cases of this inflammatory syndrome so they can continue to track and monitor it.
3 local ER nurses contract coronavirus while trying to help save the lives of Hoosiers. They took on the virus and won. And as RTV6's Stephanie Wade shows us, they are back on the front lines helping patients, and they are taking yet another step to save lives.
Along this row, sitting side by side, these three women are not only co-workers, but also COVID-19 survivors.
I mean, it was scary. I was definitely anxious.
It's really awful. People say it's like the flu, but it's like 1,000 times worse than the flu.
Having contracted the coronavirus, working as ER nurses on the front lines.
Through contact tracing, it was definitely from a patient in the ER. It just kind of comes with the job.
Emily Kornprobst was the first of the three to get infected.
My symptoms were fever, just a dry cough, some nausea. I lost my sense of taste and smell, and my worst symptom was my body aches.
Then she learned her friends in the same unit, Cassie Avery and Jude Shelp, started having symptoms too.
Cough, headache, fatigue, body aches.
Couldn't walk from one end of the house to the other without feeling like you were just so tired.
The worst part was their families and roommates consequently got the virus as well.
My mom, my sister, and my brother, and my dad.
My husband did get sick.
I mean, in such close contact and not knowing that I had been exposed, they definitely blame me.
For 2 weeks, they all self-isolated.
I was quarantined to my bedroom and they stayed out in the living room.
Now, fully recovered and back at work, they are here today to donate their convalescent plasma to be used in a trial treatment with the hopes their antibodies can help critically ill patients lessen the severity of their symptoms. What this machine is doing is collecting her blood here, separating the red cells from the plasma, which is the yellow golden fluid, and that is used to treat COVID-19 patients.
I just feel so blessed to have been able to recover from COVID-19, and I feel like it's an opportunity to give back, as well as an obligation.
We don't have treatments. We don't have a vaccine yet. This is all we have that's helping. So if I can do anything to help at all, then it's not just something I can do, it's something I should do.
Working for you, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
And we appreciate their efforts there. All three nurses are now back working in the ER. Each plasma donation that they make can help up to 3 COVID patients.
Democracy 2020, new information about the primary election, which is now 18 days away. It's set for June 2nd. Secretary of State Connie Lawson says the state is supplying all counties with a personal protective equipment for poll workers. It's not for the public, so if you vote in person, you must bring your own mask, gloves, and any other protective equipment you need. But Lawson says absentee voting is encouraged for this primary. She also says do not expect results on election night. Those could take 2 to 3 days to get. And here are the key dates. The deadline to request an absentee ballot is next Thursday, May 21st. The county clerk must receive your absentee ballot by noon on June 2nd. Early voting starts May 26th and goes through June 1st. And again, the primary election is June 2nd.
Rain is in the weekend forecast, but we're not expecting a washout. I'll let you know when that wet weather is most likely. You're watching RTV6 News at 6.
Hey.
Restaurants around the state are getting back to the business of having people inside, and that includes a popular spot in Franklin.
It's a place that has stood the test of time. Brad Brown shows us how the Willard is ready to be the place where families meet once again.
History hangs in every corner of the Willard restaurant in downtown Franklin.
A lot of people come to see the old building, and the fact that we have great food, is another reason to get people in here. But the building itself is kind of what people come to see.
For 160 years, the house has stood strong on this corner of Main Street, a hotel in a former life. You can still see the decades of old charm all around. It has grown over the years into one of Franklin's most beloved restaurants.
We're completely in debt to our customers in the community. When we let them know that we're going to stay open, and give them our famous pizza and our wings and our bread tenderloins, they answered the call and started calling us.
As the tables inside have had to sit empty over the past couple of weeks, the Willard crew has taken its menu favorites to the carry-out curb.
All right, I'll go check out for you.
Mainly sandwiches, salads, pizza, and wings. It's been an adjustment for everyone, but it's been easier than we thought it would be at the beginning, just because the customers in our community have been understanding that we're trying to figure this out as we go.
The Willard spot next to the historic Art Craft Theater makes for quite a taste of the past in Franklin.
I've worked here since I was in high school, so I've definitely seen generations of people, whether or not they've worked here with us or they've just been customers. But yeah, definitely seen a lot of different generations over the years. It feels great knowing that people are excited to see familiar faces, you know, whether it's your bartender or your waitress or just anybody. But I hear it all the time that they're really excited to see us as much as we're excited to see them.
Working for you in Johnson County, Brad Brown, RTV6.
And the Willard did reopen its dining room at 50% capacity this week. You can get some seats on the outdoor patio and veranda as well. Check the Willard Restaurant Facebook page for daily specials. It is open 7 days a week in Franklin, and you can see what other restaurants are open by going to the indychannel.com/open. Kyle.
What a cool spot, and I think we are going to have some good patio weather this weekend mixed in with some of those rain chances. Looking over downtown Indianapolis, you can see we still have those clouds, a few breaks of sunshine here or there. 74 degrees right now downtown. You're at 70 in Kokomo, a little rain cooled there, 75 in Bloomington. As we look at the satellite and radar, not a whole lot of rain taking up much real estate here, but we do have a few showers there in Grant County. Most of those will be passing south of Marion, a few more showers for you in the Portland area. So tonight, spotty shower, temperatures that will drop down into the upper 50s. So we'll keep those temperatures pretty mild going into the start of the weekend, and those mild afternoons will stick around as well. 78 for our Saturday, 77 on Sunday, and I do think we have lower rain chances on Saturday. So that might be the pick of the weekend, but Sunday doesn't look like a washout either. Let's take you hour by hour through that forecast. Here's Saturday, the first half of the day, looking pretty good. May see a stray shower over southern locations. Otherwise, we are dry. Temperatures getting into the lower 70s by 11 a.m. And then they'll kind of level off there as we do have the chance for a couple of thunderstorms going into the afternoon. Numbers that will top out in the middle 70s for that afternoon high. So here's a look at TrueCast. This is 1:30 Saturday afternoon. You can see some very spotty shower activity. So we're not expecting to see widespread rainfall here. And as we go into the evening and overnight, we may see a few more of those downpours into early Sunday morning. Sunday's forecast has more thunderstorm symbols in it, but I again think we're going to have some dry time in there. Very warm temperatures though, starting off at 70 degrees. It will be a breezy day as numbers make their way into the lower and middle 70s for the afternoon high, limited by a little more rainfall. As we look at TrueCast 3:30 Sunday afternoon, we start to see some of those thunderstorms bubbling up for us, a little more widespread in that coverage here as the actual cold front starts to come through late in the day Sunday into Sunday night. And we do have that marginal or low threat on Sunday that some of the storms could be strong, possibly severe. Gusty winds would be the primary threat there. As we look at those temperatures behind the system, they are going to cool down. 7-day forecast shows highs only in the lower 60s by Monday with cloudy skies. Fairly dry conditions for next week, but we're going to keep those clouds and cooler air coming in with highs in the 60s through Wednesday, rebounding back into the 70s Thursday and Friday.
Work continues for fall sports to return, and when it does, IU will be ready.
The school's volleyball team believes it has a new attitude. The group definitely moving up. Sports Director Dave First with the Sports Extra Spotlight.
Things might be shut down right now, even inside IU's new volleyball facility, Wilkinson Hall. That doesn't mean there still isn't some good news.
It's cool when there's some good news, and certainly the recruiting class that has come out is some pretty good news for us.
When things resume on campus, Steve Ayer will be coaching a freshman class ranked 15th in the nation, with some choosing the Hoosiers over others in the Big Ten.
I think a lot of kids want to play in the Big Ten. To say they play in the Big Ten or to wear the jersey and say they're part of it, I think it's a different kind of kid who wants to come here and kick someone's ass.
Ayer isn't apologizing to anyone. Since taking the job in Bloomington 2 years ago, attendance has doubled inside their new 3,000-seat facility. And awareness is up from when he'd come to Indy for club recruiting visits.
Curious, when you came up to Indy, what were the sweatshirts the kids were wearing?
Yeah, not IU. Let's leave it there. No, and it's funny because I had recruited, when I was at Penn State, we recruited these clubs heavily. When I took the job in Maryland, we knew that these kids in the Midwest, you know, within 3 hours of campus is some of the best volleyball in the country.
We're going into the locker room.
The facility's hell.
Say hi.
We got a tour just last fall.
This is where we basically get ready for our games.
When the team can reconvene, though, will be anyone's guess. Certainly there's a lot of uncertainty when it comes to what the fall may look like. How do you keep kids heading in the right direction or keep the optimism?
Number one, recruit great people. I mean, these kids, Dave, they are so positive. They're working so hard. They did so well in school. We have this mantra, kind of anyone, anytime, anywhere. And I told them, listen, if they tell us in a week we're playing in a parking lot at 10 p.m., it's game on.
It might be the off season, but the wins are still coming for IU volleyball.
You know how hard I always talk about the Big Ten being a monster. It is. There's schools in the Big Ten who have done this for 30 or 40 years in a row. So we've got a lot of catching up to do, but you got to start somewhere. So pretty excited about where we're starting and where we're at.
And ultimately, where they're going. Day first, RTV6 Sports.
Victoria Sparks, and I approve this message.
I'm Dave First with another RTV6 Senior Salute spotlighting the spring sport athletes. We head to Edgewood High School to meet Grace Bretfeld, the unquestioned leader of the Lady Mustang softball team. Sectional titles her freshman and sophomore seasons, battling back from injury, ready to compete her senior year. She can bomb a school record 27 home runs, which she would have undoubtedly put out of reach this spring. She'll take her talents to SIU Edwardsville in the fall, where she'll be an instant leader and a fan favorite. Good luck, Grace. I'm Dave First with another RTV6 Senior Salute.
A few storms this weekend, but a lot of dry time as we enjoy highs in the 70s. A little cooler to start off next week. Those highs are back in the 60s.
I want to thank you for joining us for RTV6 News at 6.
World News Tonight with David Muir is next. Then stay with us for the news at 7. We'll see you then.